Warning, the following video may contain cursing, immature jokes, or verbal not safe for work content. If you do not wish to view anything that may contain any of these, please immediately go back to your previous page, or otherwise, just stick around and enjoy the show. Thank you.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Rants and Raves. My name is George. Today we're going to be talking about all the things we're going to be talking about, and I'm joined here with...
Kyle.
And...
Alex.
Let's do this. So, we're going to talk about podcasts, I guess, so... What type of subjects would you guys consider something we would like to do?
Politics?
I would,
Is that?
yeah.
Sure.
Well, I wouldn't just say, like, politics in general. I feel
Not
like
general politics, but, like, the categories that go with politics. Like, abortion, fucking...
Basically,
know,
what are your stances on certain
Yeah.
political views?
Gun rights.
But I think we should do things from other, like, countries as well.
Dude,
So,
that'd
like,
be great.
politics
One
in
thing I'd
China.
love to talk about is the meme thing that's going on in Europe right now. I forgot what it is.
Article 13.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
love to talk about that. 'Cause
Oh
I
yeah,
find it
aren't
to be
they
bullshit.
banning it
They're
so that
banning
you
memes.
can't you can't use something that isn't your own original material?
Yeah,
Right.
and that's like
Yep.
something that I consider to be absolute bullshit. Because
The fun of a meme is taking an image that is already there on the internet
yeah.
and putting your own caption to it.
Yeah, it's like it's a large version of Cards Against Humanities.
It really is. It
Cards
is
Against Humanities is just memes.
No, that is what do you mean?
That is what do you mean? That is its own game, and I shouldn't have said anything different.
Copyright strike.
That's one
Number
thing.
one.
That's one thing we probably.
Oh wait,
would
no,
have
that's
to worry
two
about.
because he also mentioned Cards Against Humanity
Yeah.
and
They don't-
PewDiePie.
I don't see anybody really fucking having a big problem
Yeah.
with us mentioning them because we're not talking shit about them. We love both of them. Like people can be like, "Oh yeah."
Well, also, like you see on YouTube, people playing these games, and all they have to do is go, "Oh, this game was created by this person." Good.
Yeah. Well, like if you say EA's fucking, I don't know, FIFA.
Sports. It's in the game.
Sorry.
Anyway.
No, if you say EA fucking whatever the game FIFA,
Yeah.
it has it within its name because of their ego.
Yeah.
So that's something. But no, so I'd love to talk about politics. I'd love to talk about serious things, and I feel like we shouldn't be afraid to talk about serious subjects because that is our First Amendment fucking right to talk about whatever we fucking want to talk about.
This is America.
Oh, that's a good fucking song. This is Wakanda.
This is the land of the free speech.
But we should also talk about best Korea.
What the fuck did you just say?
What?
Talk about best Korea.
Best Korea?
I think
North Korea.
Yeah, North Korea is obviously the best Korea. Korea? Oh, no.
I don't know. I feel like Alex, you and I have friends from the UK. I feel like not only should we get them in on...
Yeah, 'cause we can do Discord voice chat and record that as the podcast, so
not
I would
only
love to get their opinion.
Not just getting them in on the Article
and
13. But the thing is, as I understand it, people from Scotland and Ireland actually tend to understand U.S. politics better than most U.S. citizens
Johan
do.
talks to me about amendments that I've never even fucking heard of. He's like, well, you have the right to do this.
Well, he also had to study to come here.
Well, that's true.
Are you sure that the headphones aren't fucking with your voice
No,
right
I
now?
think it's alright. I think it's also that I have issues with talking like in the first place without at least.
Like obviously, this isn't gonna get posted because we're just talking about the most random shit.
I think that should be
snipping
posted.
this. Yeah, it's just gonna clip it up very.
No, I
finely.
like the idea that we're talking about what we want to do because then it's
but I
it's
mean
a
the
flowing
things that we're mentioning, we're gonna have to clip this so bad.
I don't see how we would
it's
have
fine.
to. Because it's a flowing conversation. That's what you want with a podcast. You don't want to cut out everything just because you think someone's going to disagree with it. That's the whole point of a podcast. You want to keep the whole conversation because they're even the smallest parts of conversation. That's the
Can
type
you
of thing we
fucking
cut
not?
out. Like, that's the type of fucking thing we
I got
have to
tired
cut
of
out.
him talking. I'm sorry.
Suck a dick. Jesus Christ. No, like I've listened.
Best comeback, best response.
No, I've listened to podcasts and they always like they just have a conversation about something, it derails, and that's the best part when you're able to derail off to a separate conversation. And we are talking about the subjects we're going to talk about, but we're talking about just why we want to talk about them, and then we are going to talk about them at a different video.
So the problem with Discord is going to be Discord has its own like cutting out sort of one person talking over the other system, and it's completely arbitrary. So if one person's suddenly being louder than someone else, it completely cuts them out.
Yeah,
so we can't have too many people on Discord, but we could have
I honestly feel like our best choices would be Fishy, because he is very knowledgeable about these things, and he's
smart.
He also has that voice for a podcast.
Is that the Scottish one?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
That's the English one from just outside of Liverpool.
Fishy's the one I got along with, though.
Yeah, you liked him.
Because I like the Scottish one, because I was like, when you watch Shrek and you know it's a fucking... it's a Canadian doing the voice, do you get offended? And he goes, fuck offended. Like, he was so against being offended, which is funny. He seemed like he was offended when I asked him if he was offended.
No, that wasn't Ossian, because Ossian is Irish. Ossian's from Ireland.
No, Ossian's the Irish one that sounds Scottish. Which one's the Scottish one that sounds British?
Okay, can I ask? I thought we were literally like, hey, we're not going to do any name jobs of people we know. Yeah. And then we're like, hey, these 3 people.
Well, Fishy's a username.
Oh, that's true.
Fishy's a username. Ossian's his own username.
Yeah.
And...
I just turned fucking German. No, is that Russian? You guys were talking, and instead of saying yeah, I was like, duh.
Ellis.
Pretty sure this.
Oh,
Ellis is the American turned Scottish.
Huh.
He's the turncoat.
That's fucking weird. Okay, so yeah, we wanted to talk about politics, and we wanted to do interviews with people that have different outtakes on those types of things. Is it called outtakes? Different takes. I don't know why I said outtakes.
Because we're gonna have plenty of those.
Yeah. But no, and then also Johan, we have he said he wants to be on here every once in a while. So
I just have to ask you guys, if we decide to actually make an outtakes clip, can we please pay the money to get the rights to the Wipeout theme song and just have it quietly playing in the background behind our outtakes?
I'm in.
I don't. Can we afford that?
I don't think we really need the rights.
How much does
because
it cost?
Like, until we're actually popular, there's not going to be anyone cracking down on us. You know what I mean?
Except the robots on YouTube.
Oh yeah, the robots. I forgot about the
YouTube.
Robots. Well, we could just do it with our own voices, do an acapella like. See, works perfectly.
Perfect.
That we can clip that out. I can use some GarageBand and do my magic. But yeah, no. So we want to talk about politics. What are some other subjects that we'd like to talk? I like the idea of us doing the grind my gears segment, similar to like Family Guy, where we talk about things that we don't like,
things that just piss us off.
Yeah, and we go on rants.
Things that don't tickle the pickle.
Yeah,
things that don't.
That was what we
pickle.
originally named it when we first tried this. That was what we named it.
I like that. I kind of like things that don't tickle my pickle, but I feel like that's probably against the rules of some sort.
It's a bit on the nose.
It's
okay. Well,
it's not like things that don't masturbate my penis. That's on the nose.
Yeah,
okay? that's tickle my pickle's the nice way of saying it. But yeah, we wanted to do like a rant segment where we say things that
exactly
we don't agree with.
My shaft,
What the fuck?
But also, we should do gaming and news.
Yeah, I thought you said nudes, and I was like, I'm not really interested. But
no, he has his own thing for that.
What the fuck?
What the fuck, Kyle?
He's like, don't talk about that. That was a fucking secret.
We all know you do it.
But no, so I think we should do different segment. What the fuck? Stop. No, I think we
for
should...
reference, he just did sex signals with his thumb and his other hand.
No, that's the pooping signal.
Dude, your thumb. Your thumb looks like the thumbs from the mom on Monsters vs. Aliens when she's like, it runs in the family. Your kids are gonna have it. You have her thumbs.
Yeah.
If we
It's
do
called
post this,
It's called Hitchhiker's Thumb, but I have it really bad.
if we do post this, I'm fucking posting a picture of that thumb. Okay, that's a fucking. I'm doing
it. Skips a generation. Your kids are gonna have it.
That was so high pitched. Jesus,
That's exactly how she sounds. In the movie, though.
She does sound like that.
Perfect.
But yeah, no. Oh, I also want to do movie and game reviews.
Yes.
I feel like we
that'd be
should
pretty
try to
sick.
bring back what we used to try to do with our YouTube channel with our impressions and movie quote challenges.
Yeah, but would that be a podcast thing? Or
I
would
feel
that
like it would be because
Yeah, because we're not. We're literally just doing a voice.
well, not to mention that like for the movie quote ones, we could just have like a list of movie quotes and we just have to guess what
You'd
movie
be
it's
like,
from.
okay, what's this? Go ahead, make my day. No, you guys don't know. It has
Don't
something
remember
with
the
Clint
movie.
Eastwood. I can't remember what it
I
is
don't
either.
remember the title.
Yeah,
The
was it
Good, the
Dirty
Bad,
Harry?
the Ugly.
I thought it was Dirty Harry.
Might have been Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry is a Clint Eastwood movie, I believe.
I don't know. I like my personal favorite Clint Eastwood movie is Any Which Way But Loose.
My personal favorite is I don't watch anything with Clint Eastwood. I like Bruce Almighty,
That's good.
but
Movie.
that's Jim Carrey acting as Clint Eastwood, so I'll take it.
No, I don't know. I liked the impression challenges mainly because I was the best at them. But
Hey, fuck you. You were
I
not.
loves you.
Go fuck yourself. No, I think we all did equally on certain things because like
Everybody has
some
their
people
specialties.
did a Bane impression. Some people were good at the joke.
I just
Joey-
need the Pringle can for the for Bane.
Joey
Are you
was
speaking
surprising.
into a Pringle can? Yes,
Oh my
it's a
god!
Pringles can.
No, so Joey was surprisingly good at doing the fucking what is his name? It's like it's time to stop. That guy.
Name drop.
What?
Name
He's
drop.
gonna be part of it, so I don't. That's why I said Johan
Okay.
and I said Joey because they're gonna join us on these videos.
They better.
They said they're willing to. Joey just doesn't talk much, so it'd be like him just throwing in a couple words every once in a while.
Oh, I broke my
Both
rubber
the
band.
Joeys don't talk much.
Yeah, they don't talk much. But yeah, some people are afraid to.
Are you done?
Yeah, you're being. Stop it. Sound like someone's fucking
Stop it.
doing something with a thong, like
Get some
snapping it.
help.
Stop. She's so annoying. No,
He's a child, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, I like the idea. He's fucking with the mic, by the way.
I have a rubber band and I'm flicking it like a guitar. I can't hear it in my own headphones.
Again, a child.
I love
Thank you.
you, but sometimes I wish death upon you. That was sad. So no, I think movie reviews, impressions, that would still be fun. Charades, like you said, and game reviews. I would love to do game reviews on like what's my game of the year, which we could do because it's not the end of the year yet, and I do have some of the new games from this year and have played most of them. So I feel like
I've only played like one new. I've only played one new game from this year.
Spider-Man.
Yes, Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah,
Great game.
No,
Great game.
This isn't the time, Kyle.
No, that's not my full review. I'm just saying I recommend it.
I'd like to just have a 5-second video. I'd like to review Spider-Man PS4. Great game. End of the fucking podcast.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy.
No,
It's kind of like our 25-second review of Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh yeah. That
We're
was pretty great.
scripting an outro, by the way.
An
We're
outro?
not gonna half-ass our outros. They're going to be scripted.
Well, we're not
and
gonna
we're going
half-ass
to learn
our
them.
intros either. We're gonna record the intro after.
We're
the
going to be
body
recording
of the thing.
intros and outros after we do the actual
Yeah,
podcast.
and it's
that way
so
it doesn't.
we can be like, well, we're gonna talk about this and check it out. But that's something that I found online that they said worked. So let's try
Okay.
it.
We'll try it.
I think for one thing though that we need to make sure we need to have our drinks settled before
Hey.
because I'm starting to get dehydrated.
I have a coffee.
I'm not drinking coffee. I hate coffee.
I'm saying I have.
That's
fucking
another argument we should have. Is coffee really the best option?
coffee versus hot chocolate. No, coffee versus tea.
Tea. Yep.
Yeah.
Coffee versus tea.
And then we get the
Infinite
Brits in on this.
So
Yes.
hey, you know what I was
Yes.
thinking?
That needs to happen because it'll be a shit show.
If we do this versus this, like those type of things, we should fucking have like 4 in one episode. So we're not talking about coffee versus tea for fucking hour. Because that would be
Although
like
we
a bit
could.
long. Could we though?
Yeah,
It's obvious who
Trust
is
me.
supreme.
Trust me.
Coffee.
Well, it depends, but it also depends. There's a different thing that you got to go with. We might have to have a four-part podcast because we have to talk about hot coffee, iced coffee,
Go fuck
hot
yourself.
tea, iced tea.
Okay, I gotta say, I love
artificial teas versus natural teas.
I prefer artificial teas because natural teas taste like balls. And I've never tried balls, but I just assume it tastes like tea.
Is that because you can smell your own?
What do you have against balls? But no, that would be... So doing this versus this discussions, like Batman versus Superman...
I was just about to say,
like
the best argument to have, is Batman the best superhero or not? Because he will argue, this one over here will argue with you all day, that he is.
The answer is yes.
I do not agree.
I think someone was talking to me. It was a guy who loves. It was my coworker. He fucking loves Dragon Ball Z, and he was like, George, Goku versus Batman, who wins? And I was like, Batman, obviously. And he was like, I was expecting him to say Goku. And then he had a fucking 4-page explanation why I was right. And he was like, I love Goku, but Batman will wreck that motherfucker any day. And I was like, what? Like, I was expecting an argument.
The thing is, I will fully agree with you. Like, this isn't our full conversation, but I will agree with you that with enough time and planning, Batman could beat anyone. But when it comes to sheer force, he will get fucked.
I remember when we were, talking about Batman versus the Flash, and you were like, well, Flash can just go and break Batman's neck. And I was like, I have a feeling that there would be something, like a gadget on Batman's belt, that he would detect the Speed Force from far away and just have a battering, slowly, shoot out. And then the Flash would just run into it and stab himself in the fucking chest. Like, something crazy. Actually, Batman got a Speed Force ring.
Yeah, but that was in the Brave and the Bold cartoon. I mean, they broke so many laws in that cartoon.
What do you think the Flash would do if he was running after Batman and Batman just fucking started running back at him and the Flash was like, oh, fuck! Just imagine Ben Affleck's Batman with the Speed Force.
No, you know what I'd rather to see? You know what I would love to see in the movies? I would just, for some reason, I really want to see Batman wielding a Sinestro Corps ring.
That'd be sick.
Batman's number one tool is fear. But if he can become fear incarnate, I swear to God.
Yeah. The only thing you can fear is fear itself. That'd be sick.
So one of the things I do want to make use of is the room. We'll get a panorama shot in here of the room we're currently in, filled with movies.
Yep.
What we should do at some point
nerdy memorabilia.
That too. That many.
It's not even the only room with all these things.
This is just where most of it has been amassed.
We'll pick a movie from the shelf and we'll just talk about it.
Watch it.
We'll have to watch it. And then we'll talk
so
about it.
random reviews about movies that could have came out 20 years ago.
Right.
That would be great, actually.
I was actually.
Can I complain about Home Alone 2?
Yeah, it was garbage. Donald Trump's role didn't touch any vaginas.
No, what I was gonna. I was gonna bring up it's one of John Mulaney's jokes, but it's very true.
How did he get
He
lost?
says it's called Lost in New York, but the streets are a numbered grid system. Yeah. Seriously.
Mm-hmm. One thing I wanted to do.
I've never been to New York, but I'm pretty sure I can find my way around if I know how to count.
I've been to Boston, and that's basically not the same thing at all. No. I don't want people to comment. Oh, but one thing I wanted to do was also do gameplays, but of retro games. I want to do gameplays of old Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario 64, and I can use my emulator.
Nice.
I did not do it on purpose.
How about the retro plug and play games?
Oh, we have 3 of those.
I have 3. They're right up in the closet.
I know. We should.
One of them is I used to have a SpongeBob plug and play that you have to build the burger. And you have to run around. The materials fall from the fucking sky.
You have to go left and right and try to catch them, but you can't catch them in the wrong order.
And I just want to know if any of you would panic if there was a fucking a thing of cheese falling from the sky, because I think I would.
Well,
Flying sheep! Those are clouds.
No!
That's pretty much just Skyburger, though.
Oh yeah, that's a good game.
Every fucking game, like every themed game, is copying something else. Have you ever heard of Injustice? That's just Mortal Kombat with Batman.
Well, I wouldn't call it copying because it's by the same company.
No, I'm just saying everything that is themed by something popular has already had a game made recently that's the same thing without those characters.
Yep.
So what we should do is when we play a game, we should say, what is the earliest iteration of this type of game that we can find?
Before and after type of situation.
Yeah, we'll do a little bit of research.
Dig up what was the first racing game to ever come out?
There's a Nintendo 64 racing game that I played.
No, I remember the Namco Museum games that came out. There was this old arcade game. I can't remember the name of the racing game, but it was like an 8-bit. It was so shitty. Whenever you crashed, all your pixels just fell apart.
I like those. I love retro, like the way they did things. I prefer it, honestly.
Like another thing that we should discuss is our favorite Flash games, because those are what shaped.
I thought you meant the Flash, and I was like,
no, like Adobe Flash. Like those were the games that shaped our childhood. Canvas Rider.
I
Bloons Tower Defense.
Bloons Tower Defense. I want to get the new version, but you have to pay like $2.
I don't know if this counts, but Happy Wheels.
It does.
That
is a Flash game.
That fucking game was one of those Flash games that became so popular because people started doing Let's Plays, and now it's like never heard of.
It all started with PewDiePie. It started with PewDiePie.
Everything's YouTube started.
Look.
No, it didn't.
Good
you know what YouTube started with?
Logan Paul.
No, that's where it ended.
No, that's where it ended.
No, the YouTube started with "Leave Britney alone."
Oh god, that was so loud.
That was like only the first year that YouTube came out. You got to remember, we were alive when YouTube was created.
Let's not forget, Charlie bit me.
Yep. It's so weird to see
Charlie, that really hurt.
Those two are almost they're a little bit younger than us. They're like, I think they're actually the same age as us now.
Yeah. Yeah, so we should talk about YouTube then and YouTube now. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
And then we could show how bad the YouTube rewinds have gotten.
The true YouTube rewind.
Yes.
That's what we're going to name it.
Oh, we can make our own version of a YouTube rewind.
We need to make just one long video that is the most popular YouTube videos of every year since YouTube was created.
Did you hear what PewDiePie wanted? Well, what PewDiePie would have done if he made it into YouTube Rewind, which he should have because he is the most subscribed YouTuber. So I find that to be bullshit. But he does the meme review where he goes, meme review, and it was a whole bunch of people commenting PewDiePie should start the fucking YouTube Rewind by going year review, and like I was like that would be fucking awesome. But then it was just a bunch of idiots around a campfire saying, what should YouTube Rewind be about?
Okay, guys. It's time to get sad for a second, because there's something that we need to discuss. Stan Lee.
Why would you bring that up now? It's really bringing down the mood.
I mean, like, the thing is... we are never going to see another cameo. I feel like... Because they're in post-production of Captain Marvel right now, which means that his final cameo that we will ever see is gonna be in Captain Marvel, which doesn't come out until next year.
I read something, I don't know if it's true, but it said that he was filming cameos that weren't even actually like with the characters, but like just side cameos, because when he was sick, he was trying to make sure he could get as many cameos out as possible. Oh. Also, it's very easy to add a Stan Lee cameo if you do something that's digital. I'm not saying CGI his whole body, I'm saying like have him like as like an 8-bit character on a screen in the background or something. Anything would work.
Well, actually, they're coming out with animatronics that are so lifelike and realistic nowadays. In the future, they might actually be able to recreate Stan Lee.
I just feel like that's a bad move, because like...
I feel like that's dishonoring his memory at that point.
You know what?
Are you though?
You know what fucking Ryan Reynolds said? I think it was him or someone said it to him. they said Deadpool should cameo in every movie with a mustache and a pair of Stan Lee glasses.
Aviators.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
That would
like
be.
just seeing Deadpool everywhere instead of Stan Lee, and just be like, every single time. It shouldn't be like him doing something random. He should just be standing there holding a sign that says "In memory of Stan Lee."
I kind of like that though. No. Yeah. You know who I think should do cameos in every movie in the fucking world with a switch up? You know how like they're like, twist standing. I think it should be
Morgan
the ladybug
Freeman.
from Big Mouth. That's like, no, what these motherfuckers gonna do?
No,
I would love that so much.
No, like you know what really makes me sad?
What?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan
Freeman needs to make more cameos in anything
before he dies.
No, what really makes me sad is the cameo idea that I came up with that you loved, and we're never gonna get to submit that to Marvel Studios and have it happen.
A lot of people brought it up.
Like the idea that I had come up with was the Avengers just staying in a hotel, a very simple scene. And they leave for a little bit to go do something. Yeah. And Thor just leaves his hammer in the room. And Stan Lee comes in. He's a janitor. He's just cleaning the place up. And then you just see him casually lift Thor's hammer, clean underneath it, and set it back down and just walk away like nothing happened.
But the thing is, his new hammer doesn't have the same properties.
That's
what
true.
They've already said. That's why, because someone posted about it. Because someone was like, Groot is worthy because he lifted the new hammer, and they were like, no, his hammer doesn't have the same properties as Mjolnir. It's its own thing. And I think that's a good play, because then it's like, hey, we can try something new.
I think it would.
Cool.
What I think would be awesome is if
don't spoiler too much.
Yeah, kind of forgot about that. Well, I just said that there's a new hammer. That's all I said. But
that was pretty much known because it was in the trailers. What I think is awesome, though, is that gives the potential of seeing something that's in the newer comics.
Beta Ray?
No, they have they came out with a new comic line. It's just a little thing. Do you guys remember... Well, I should more specifically, George, do you remember Amalgam Comics?
Not by name.
It was when Marvel and DC tried to work together.
Oh,
and they mashed together all their heroes. Came out with
Dark
Super
Claw.
Soldier, Dark Claw.
It was a Wolverine and Batman.
Yep.
Crossover.
My personal favorite was a Speed Demon. It was the Flash and Ghost Rider.
Oh, that's sick. That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was just a demon that could run at super speed. He left a trail of fire. Yeah,
that's fucking sick.
No, but they made a new thing called Infinity Warp. Infinity Warps, where they take the Infinity War comic line, and what happens is the universe ends up folding in two. That's the literal way that they explain it. And a bunch of superheroes just get mashed together, but this time it's all Marvel heroes that are just mashed together. And one of the heroes that is in it is called Iron Hammer.
Thor and Iron Man?
Iron Man and Thor, yes. And then my personal favorite is the Soldier Supreme, which is Captain America and Doctor Strange.
That'd be pretty sick.
And it's awesome. But do you know how when Doctor Strange uses his magic to make shields and he has that orange thing? Well, when he does it, it's magical and it's like the clear hologram that you can kind of see through, but it makes the symbol of Captain America's shield.
I mean, that's cool, but I feel like each one of those characters are cool in their own specific way, and I feel like
I agree with that.
Always help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, the Dark Claw, at least that's kind of sick, because it's Batman with Wolverine claws and a healing ability, which means he was already pretty fucking sick, but now he's even better.
Both of them were insane on their own.
Yeah.
And then you give Wolverine's abilities are what were cool. And then you give him that tactical Batman thought, and he's more stoic and
just like
much more
Batman
calm.
dropping down on somebody and just stabbing them in the back, and then like going back, like shooting himself back up. So you just see your friend go and go back up. Like that'd be pretty fucking awesome.
But no, they have a lot of these new ones. There's also I'm trying to think of her name. Oh yeah, Weapon Hex. She's a cross of X-23
Yeah, as I figured.
And Scarlet Witch.
See, I feel like that doesn't need to happen. Although, I just feel like I love these characters so much by themselves that I'm like, don't fuck with them.
That's a good point. I feel like some of them should come together, and then there's just him over here who has no clue what we're talking
Captain
about.
America and Superman is what I want to fucking see. Captain America and Superman.
They've already done that.
What?
In Amalgam Comics, he was called Super Soldier, and his shield was Superman's symbol.
Okay, see, okay, I'm in. Okay, so let's get back on.
He could fly.
Let's get back on the off subject. Other things that we would like to talk about.
So did we already say horror movies?
Fuck yeah. I love you. I'm
not big on horror movies, but
you don't like gory
Yes,
movies.
I prefer a psychological thriller any day.
So you would fucking love what's it? Get Out. Great fucking movie. It's like it fucks with your head because you're like, my god.
You know what we should talk about?
What?
Don't breathe.
Oh no! Don't breathe, but also don't swallow.
That should be the sequel. I think that's the porn remake.
That's the porn remake. Isn't
oh
it?
my god!
Don't
it is.
swallow.
So
someone search that. I know you're going to.
Somebody has Rule 34 that up by now.
Yep.
Towards the end of the movie, something happens that involves semen, and I'm just gonna say that if you haven't seen the movie, watch it. It's a fantastic movie.
We saw it in theaters. It was a great movie. It's a little underwhelming at first, but then it quickly picks up.
Well, I think also...
if you go and you start seeing it and you're just like, oh, this is boring, I want to leave, don't. It quickly picks up.
Again, me fucking clueless.
You haven't seen Don't Breathe?
Nope.
Dude, we gotta see if we can find a copy of it online.
Yeah.
It's gotta be somewhere in this collection.
No, I don't have it.
Really? It's a newer movie.
I almost just... No,
it's only been out for like 2 years.
That's not a newer fucking movie.
That's newer, by definition.
You can't...
By definition of the movies that you have in here, you have movies from the fucking 70s in this room, okay?
Well, that's like saying my baby was just born 2 fucking years ago. It's not new anymore. It's a fucking toddler. These movies are toddlers.
I shouldn't say that you have movies from the 70s, because these are fucking DVDs.
Yeah. I have movies that were made in the 70s.
That's another thing that we should talk about, because we were alive through the transition from VHS to DVD.
Can we just talk about the just call it like our transitions? Because we went through the buttons on phones to having no buttons. We went through having dial-up internet to having fucking Wi-Fi. I want to just talk about all of these transitions.
You know what the best thing in the world was as a kid?
What?
If you were accident prone and you were lucky enough to have a cell phone, do you know what you wanted? Nokia phones.
Oh, yeah.
Those little Nokia phones were fucking indestructible.
The brick.
Yeah. I remember when...
you could drop that in the toilet and the toilet would break.
No, I remember when fucking cell phones were just becoming slightly popular, and they had the legitimate flip phones, and we couldn't afford one, and I was only like fucking 10. And I was like, Mom, I want a phone. And she's like, haha, you're not getting one. And then my dad decided to play a fucking prank on me. A prank on me. And
he shot you with a tranquilizer?
He tranked me. No, he fucking gave me one of those phones that you have to pull down the bottom piece and pull up the antenna. And I went to school like, I can call my mom on this. And I was like trying to act cool and pretended I was on the phone with my parents. And like one of the kids was just like, George, that's an old phone. And I was like, no, it's not. It's brand new. My parents said it was. They're fucking liars.
No, my first phone that I ever had, it didn't actually have like, it didn't have data or anything.
Yeah.
It didn't. I couldn't text on it. All I did was play games. It was
play games and take pictures. Or
it was my mother's
camera?
old BlackBerry. Do you remember those? The ones where the screen would. It was
Oh,
one of the first.
slides?
It was
Yes.
one of the first touch screen phones. But the touch screen was shit, so you would have to slide the screen up, and there was a full keyboard underneath.
Yeah, well, the touch screen was actually touch sensitive and not moisture sensitive, because like you could just grab anything and poke it, and the touch screen would work. Right. Whereas now, you would need to use like something with like
oil
moisture
on
your hand, which is pretty sick. I like styluses, but it's like I wish sometimes that you could just write with anything, because then I'll just take a pen that has no ink and fucking use that. Find your tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
As soon as I said tip, both of them just fucking perked right up with a huge smile on their face.
So I think we should do a moment in our first intro podcast just explaining who we are and what we've been through life so far. Because that's important for you. Your backstory is interesting.
Yeah, your backstory.
I'm heartbreak incarnate.
It's like every comic book ever where it's like, hey, we should come up with a love interest for this one. Nah, it got boring. We're gonna fucking get that one to cheat on him. Okay, love interest 2. You know what? Let's just skip to love interest 4.
And 16 tries later,
and he's still lonely.
No, I'm happy in my relationship now. We I'm not gonna lie. We just fought, but I don't feel any different about.
Make sure
her.
You talk up the relationship for brownie points right now.
No, that's not what I'm doing. Like, I do care about her, and you're gonna fight in relationships. Yeah, that's a given.
One thing we should also talk about is fight. I said we should have a lot of emotion-driven things, and that's one thing we could talk about, getting through a fight with a loved one, because I feel like I've never legitimately had a loved one, but I know what it's like to get in a fight with someone you love, and I know that it's work.
It really is. Like, I'm by all means a very emotional person. Yeah. The slightest thing will fuck up everything in my life, and I know that. But there comes a point where you have to just realize that you are gonna fight, and you just need to get past that. Me and my girlfriend just had a 2-hour fight on the phone that was very intense, but I do not feel any different about her. I still care about her very much. I may not agree with everything that she says, and I may not agree with every decision she makes or wants me to make, but that doesn't make me feel any different.
A bad moment isn't a bad relationship. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand. They'll get in a fight and say, oh, you know what, I hate him, and they don't talk to him. And I think the truth about everything is talking things out. And that's one of the big things. But sometimes you do need to take a break and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to talk to you for a little while. We'll think about this, and then we'll talk again.
Speaking of breaks, sometimes our podcast will involve intermissions because we need to drink and piss just like every other human being on this planet.
Are you saying that you have to piss?
I don't have to right now, but I think you're getting thirsty.
You have to pee. Oh, you're getting thirsty?
My tongue is dry.
Oh, you're always thirsty, but in different ways.
He's a thirsty boy.
What, do you want to go get a drink? Or should you just wait till we power through all this?
We can call it.
Well, if you want, we can.
Call intermission. If you do it right now,
we're gonna have a brief intermission. We'll be back to you. And we're back. So, what other subjects are we gonna talk about?
Talking about subjects.
Yeah,
that's the subject of this video.
What's the subject of the subjects that we're subjecting ourselves to?
Well,
subjects. Don't change the subject.
I feel like we should talk about fandoms. Now we can talk about Doctor Who. We can talk about Star Trek. We can talk about the furries.
Star Wars.
But Star Wars too. God.
How do you miss that? That's like one of the
Lord
most popular
of the Rings.
Oh, yeah. Hobbit's part of that.
Game of Thrones, if you're into that.
Nobody here even watches Game of Thrones.
Really?
Yeah, I don't watch it.
I've tried getting into it, and I just can't.
The first
Too
episode,
much incest.
There was 2 cases of incest, and I was like, I'm not into this. I can watch whatever videos I want to watch online, but the second it's a TV show, I'm offended. But
and liberals.
No, I think what do you want to talk about with fandoms, Alex?
I'm going to talk about the bronies. At some point.
Yeah.
We're going to have a conversation.
Oh, we can have an episode about what our personal fandom is and why we like it and do a survey.
Fandoms. Multiple.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, because I literally love everything.
So what, are we each going to have are we just going to discuss each individual fandom in its own podcast?
I don't think we should compare them to each other because They're vastly different, therefore they should have a
well,
different approach.
my only question is, are we going to have it separate and do each fandom as its own podcast, or have our own separate podcast where we talk about each fandom and what it is to us? Each of ours.
I say we should have a group together and we go one by one and talk about our fandom, but each person can also chip in and say, like, yeah, and I think this is also what I think about this fandom as well. Like, you know what I think? What I mean?
Like Marvelites or
DC, Marvelites? Are you
that's
talking about
that's
Marvel or DC? Oh.
Marvel Comics fans are actually called Marvelites.
I don't know. I don't consider myself a Marvel or a DC fan. I love
We're
comic
there.
books.
So wait, what's a DC fan called?
Just a DC fan.
It's a dickite.
Dick guy.
Yeah, DC dick.
It's some dick, right?
Oh, so we could call like DC fans like people orphans. Because that's every DC character
That's
ever.
every superhero.
That's true. Well, Spider-Man's not an orphan.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Both of his parents died, and he was given to his
His
aunt and uncle.
No, because Tony Stark is secretly his father. We all
No, his parents. Little bit of backstory on Spider-Man. No, it's just a simple thing. His parents were actually SHIELD agents, and they were killed on a mission.
I don't recall the SHIELD agents, but I knew that they were agents. Cause
They were SHIELD agents.
Well, also, I watched Amazing Spider-Man, and that has a good backstory on the parents, but at the same time, it wasn't owned by Disney, so they couldn't talk about those other properties.
They couldn't talk about SHIELD.
But now that it's a Homecoming, like there's Homecoming, and those new ones that's in the same universe, they might actually touch up on that.
Yeah, no, in the comics, his parents were SHIELD agents.
That's pretty sick.
Speaking of agents, like my segue there.
Yeah.
Cleaning agents, and what are the best?
What?
We're
Tide
probably
Pods.
do. We're
Tide
probably
Pods.
gonna do some sort of home improvement of what works the best. Should you actually buy brand name, or is cheaper better?
Cheaper is better if you're poor, but it's not better if you actually need good things. Like Harbor Freight, everything works great. Can I do tool reviews?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
can do
I don't
that.
really do anything right now.
I don't think we have the time to review you. You have 20 years behind your belt.
But no, I think Harbor Freight
Bazinga.
has a lot of really good tools, and they have cheap tools, but at the same time, if you're doing something that you expect to last for 15, 20 years, don't go to Harbor Freight.
Go to the Catlin family.
Oh,
You're all tools.
Yeah, and we always at least survived 20 so far, so that's good.
What's the oldest
so-
one gotten to?
Fucking, she's 31.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a tool you can depend on.
Did you just say you're gonna use my sister?
No, I'm just saying she's a tool.
Anyway,
Aw, that was mean.
one of the things also we should talk about is words that commonly get mispronounced and why.
Clouds.
Like
My
freight.
sister says clouds for clothes, just as context.
You were saying Harbor Freight, but it sounded like fright.
No,
Every
he was pronouncing it
single
Harbor
time.
Freight.
Yeah, I say
He
Harbor
pronounces
Freight.
it like that on purpose, but it is Harbor
why?
Freight.
It's Harbor Freight. Nobody gives a fuck. Okay, Alex?
No,
You're the only
I
one
feel
who
like-
makes a big deal out of this.
I feel like people actually care. We'll see.
I-
We'll see. Tell us in the comments if you actually care about
Hey,
pronunciations.
that can be part of what doesn't tickle my pickle. When
Hey,
people mispronounce words.
Yeah.
Aluminium.
Oh my fuck.
Correct. Correct.
It's not, doesn't have another I. It's spelled aluminum.
No, it has an I.
No, it doesn't. It's
Should we look this up?
Look it up.
yeah, look it up.
Look it up right now.
Aluminum. It's ALUM.
Don't try to tell us how to spell it
L-U-M.
if you can't remember.
Right.
I was fucking right.
Because I've looked at it and I was like, holy shit, that makes sense.
I don't believe
I
it.
should have been
it
saying
doesn't
that.
end with an IUM as far as I remember.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
Oh my
IUM.
god, really?
Really?
Yep.
Fuck!
Oh wait, it's spelled both ways.
Yeah.
The
in different-
actual chemical is spelled with IUM at the end, but when you're talking about like
metal.
aluminum foil, it's spelled without the extra
So
I.
we don't call it aluminium foil, we call it aluminum foil. I just get tinfoil. Right. What the fuck is the difference between tinfoil and aluminum foil? Because I know they're made out of two different things, but they're
it says here aluminum is the American spelling and aluminium is the British spelling.
So nobody's wrong.
Nobody is wrong. It's just the difference between American English and proper English.
Yeah, proper English.
Can we do like a segment that's like, it's a tiny one in every episode, so like, you know how Blue Collar Comedy TV did like redneck word of the day?
Yeah.
Where it's a normal word. Yeah. Like, I would love to fucking do something like that, like, but like, as like every episode we bring something up that involves that situation.
Right.
But yeah. So, also, we want to do videos, which is something we haven't really brought up. We want to do different videos like board games as well.
Yep.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh!
I think
card games.
I think us playing Cards Against Humanity on video would be some of the funniest shit anyone will ever see because of the jokes that we come up with.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Like,
don't forget about Joking Hazard.
Joking Hazard right here. It's a very good game.
Yeah. Dude, I would love to fucking, like, if I ever got better at making, like, foam armor, like, do videos on it. LARPing. Oh, another thing. LARPing? Fuck yeah, LARPing.
Sure.
No, one thing that Nathan and Kyle had an idea about was doing a cooking show called Cooking with Cunts.
The name's a little on the nose, but we thought it was funny at the time.
Cooking with Clits, is that better?
Yeah. But then we'd have to have a female guest every single episode.
Oh, okay.
Easy enough.
Yeah, actually.
But still.
Well, we have a lot of female friends, but none of them actually talk to us.
But that also sounds like we're running a show for feminists.
And no one's going to take it that way. But why don't you explain what, why you are into such...
Well, simply enough, I mean, I've been interested in cooking since I was younger because you can't see us...
Continue.
What?
Continue.
No, like, because you can't see us, like, you can't see us at the moment we aren't doing videos yet. George and myself are bigger men. Yeah. It's a nice way to say it.
Husky.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry for interrupting. One thing you could do is because this is what Tasty, it's like the fucking, it's owned by BuzzFeed. They have their own like cooking channel, and they use hot plates and griddle tops instead of using actual like stoves, so they can just go like have one counter that's being taped and put hot plates on it, and you could go in that direction.
Yep.
And do that. And you can make your fucking meals that you always make, like the one that we did, the chili mac and so on.
Our random little... most of our meals, shall we say, are... we seem like massive stoners when we do it. We seem like we're high out of our minds, but we're really not. We just throw the most random foods together, and we're just like, this might be good.
And then it ends up being delicious.
It usually turns out good. Like, chili mac is literally just a combination of Velveeta mac and cheese and canned chili. That's all it is, and it's delicious.
And you could talk about today's meal as well.
Oh yeah, but that's one of George's recipes.
Ramen noodle casserole. Ramen noodles, cream of chicken with crackers and cheese on top.
Yeah,
it's pretty fucking good.
It is.
There are a lot of...
I'm happy you like that. I didn't know if you would.
Oh, that was great.
There's a lot of weird recipes that both of our families have come up with. Like, I love... one of my family signature meals is porcupines. Which you hear that and you're just like, you eat porcupine? No. What porcupines are homemade meatballs with beef flavored rice-a-roni, and you cook the rice a little bit, and then you roll the meatballs in the rice, get some of the rice inside of the meatballs, and you bake them. And they're just... You don't have them with anything else. You don't, like, slather them in a sauce or anything. We usually do them with mashed potatoes on the side, and they're just so good.
Yeah, your mom said she's going to make those for me multiple times.
I know that you've had them once, but it was just that one time, and you wanted more.
The one time I had them also, your mom said that she had messed up, and something was wrong, and she's like, so it's not the way it usually is, and I was like, fuck.
They were a little dry.
They were still good though. They were still really good.
But no, there's a lot of recipes that I'm used to. But anyway, like Alex was trying to get me explain why I'm into that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Basically, I've never been the best person with social interaction. And when I was younger, I couldn't really relate to anybody, and food was my way of communicating with people in a way. It's weird to say, but I'm not good with words when it comes to talking to people face to face, but food is something that everybody can understand. Like my friend Colby said, food is universal.
Quote of the day.
Yeah. Because I was just like, food is something that everybody in the world understands. And he pointed out that even an alien species, like, they probably eat.
Well, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, unless they have some weird way. If plant people, yeah. No, like, anybody can understand food. Like, when you taste something like, let's just say mac and cheese, homemade, what's the first thing you think of? You think of this warm, homey feeling that's very familiar. And, like, different flavors can actually
go together really good.
Well, they can give you different emotions, even.
That's also true.
Like
hot chocolate, like late at in the
it's
middle
very
of winter.
Calming.
A hot chocolate is like something like I'm home.
And it also depends on the person. Like I personally, I'm a huge fan of Italian food. That's my favorite thing in the world. I love pastas and pizza. Even though it's ironic though because I love those things, but I have problems with red dyes which are in a lot of these sauces and stuff that you use in these, and I'm just like, now I have to hold myself back. I make so much Alfredo, it's not even funny.
It's delicious.
It is spinach, sausage, bacon, cheese. It's the bomb. Anyway,
yeah.
No, but. That's basically my way of communicating with other people. I mean, with you guys, I can just sit and talk with you, but if I just meet someone out in public, I can't just...
Here's a fucking brownie.
Here, shove a burger in their gullet.
That'd be awesome. Just you're walking down the street.
That's how you make
friends.
Would
you like a burger?
That's how you make friends. You bring food offerings.
I feel like that's how you also like bring a god to the world.
I am a generous god.
No, like fucking summoning a demon and then you just put a Whopper in the middle of the circle and everyone's doing a fucking chant or something.
No, like also big thing with me and George. One of our favorite things to do is old school diners.
Yep.
Like just going to diners all the time. One of our old traditions. Back when we were when I was in high school, George had already graduated.
Yeah.
Every Thursday, I'm going to admit this fully, every Thursday he would get paid, he would get his check, and then I would skip school, and we would go to the diner for breakfast. And that was our tradition every week.
Not the proudest thing in the world, but hey.
But it was delicious.
And it also was a bonding thing for me, I think, because... When we had traditions are what make us bond, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Doing something that we both love at the same time together, which is another thing about how food can make you feel emotions in certain ways. Because if I have breakfast with someone, for some reason, breakfast for me is that meal where that's how you can talk, have a good relationship, but also try to like.
And one thing that I have to say though, this is gonna sound a little bit on the effeminate side and a little bit weird, but I have to say one of the most intimate feelings in the world for me is just cooking a meal with somebody else and sharing that with them, which is weird because me and George cook together all the time.
I think I agree because one of the most intimate moments you can have with a woman is when she eats your penis.
That's just a feeding frenzy.
Yeah. Small meal, but it was delicious.
It was more like an appetizer.
Oh, that made me sad. Okay, so yeah, continue. Diners, go for it.
Well, in the large scope of it all, my end goal in life is to hopefully get a degree in restaurant management and culinary, and eventually open my own diner, which is the menu's basically just going to be all these weird recipes you hear about, with our families just putting all of our old recipes that we've come up with on our menu. And hopefully I get my friends involved and whatnot, which one thing that I promised George is that once a week he can come in and be a waiter, just so that somebody can ask him, can I have, and then he can tell them no.
Yep, that's my goal in life.
Just once a week.
People are like, can I have the chocolate? I'm like, no, and I just walk off. That's the goal. But, yeah.
No, but my personal views in that are what's going to drive me a little bit too, because I highly support the military, and military discounts are always going to be a thing. But that's one thing with me. I would want to support the troops in any way I can, and even if it's just once a week, if you're a veteran, you get to come in and have a free meal. That's just a little thing, but it's something that can help much if you are low on money.
Also, people like the homeless veterans that are just sitting out there without a job and so on.
That's another thing I feel.
Pretty awesome.
That's another thing I feel like we need to talk about, because so many veterans come back from serving our country, and then they aren't able to get jobs, and they lose their homes and their families, and they end up on our streets. And the thing is, I've heard a lot of people say that homeless people are a problem. No, homeless people are the effect of the problem.
In my opinion, the problem is that we're housing all these people that can work but don't, because of not exactly a fake thing, but something they can get through and still work. And they're not working and still getting free housing, and then the people that served and helped our country are being left on the streets because there's not enough housing for them. And I just find that to be kind of bullshit.
Another argument that I like to make is our veterans come home, and they have like little programs that help our veterans, but they can't do much. And then you see in our jails and our prisons, we have thousands upon thousands of people that we are feeding 3 meals a day. They have free housing, hot showers. Some of them even have access to things that some of the most wealthy Americans might not even have access to. Well, I shouldn't say wealthy. I should say middle class. Class.
I'm pretty sure someone in prison isn't gonna fucking have a Lamborghini. So.
But that would be awesome, though. Just pulling in the prison yard. Woo!
You can only drive it within a fucking 10x10 area, but it's worth it.
Yeah. No, but like there are some people in prison that can get things that even normal middle class families can't have. Like, you can get flat screen TVs in prison. Yes, they cost more, but you can still get them. A lot of prisoners work full-time jobs within the prisons, get plenty of money, pay off their fines.
Well, they don't make nearly as much as like if they don't actually get anywhere close to minimum wage. Like
no, but if they work steadily and they just don't spend their money, like I'm not. I have a family member who was in jail for a while, and he made some mistakes. He knew what he did, and he did his time for those things. He got better, and he worked constantly. He did everything he could. He's home now, and he has a lot of money that he worked on saving. And even though he had all that money that he could have lived off of for a while, the first thing he did was go and get a job. Yeah. But the thing is that he could have used that money in the prison to get things. Well, I shouldn't say prison. He wasn't in a max level security prison. He was in county jail. Oh yeah. But no, he was in there for quite a while, and he could have used all that money to like buy things. And
you're better off just saving it up for when you're actually trying to live the life outside of the jail, because none of that stuff's going with you.
Right.
He figured out what he needed to do with his life, and then afterwards he just goes straight to working. And I think that's what really shows progress, because most people who do stuff like that and are thrown into jails don't have full-time jobs. The reason they're in there is because they think that pulling off these crimes are what's going to make them rich.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know. One of the
GTA,
also,
you know.
One of the things that like when it comes to homeless people, one of my main goals with my sister, I don't know if I've talked to you guys about this. I think it's okay if I segue into this, because it involves that subject. We were talking about trying to open up a homeless shelter, but not exactly a shelter. It's not there to be designed for people to live there and just hang out. It's a career center inside of a shelter, and there's already places that doing it. That's like the New Beginnings, that place.
Yeah.
But I would love to do that and get sponsors from local businesses, so then as they sponsor us and give us some clothes, we're also advertising their company and trying to find a place to bring people back into society. We try to find them a job, we try to find them a ride to that job, we get them a cell phone, we get them the basic clothes and the necessities they need, and then we push them out into the world, give them a month or two of money for an apartment and find them a job, and we say it's up to you now.
Yeah, like you're saying this is like a shelter thing, but I remember you explaining this to me as
show.
You wanted this to be a TV show. You came up with this while we were in high school.
Yeah.
And
it was New Beginnings, Happy Endings. Then I realized that involved masturbation at most massage parlors, and I was like, Happy Endings is probably.
I
not
want
the best
sad
name.
ending this time.
Oh, that video was fun. But yeah, no. I did want it to be a show, and I wanted it to be kind of like, you know, Chef Ramsay's shows where he comes, he helps
Hell's
fix
Kitchen.
the restaurant.
No, not Hell's Kitchen. Kids Your Nightmares.
Yeah, and then he comes back months later and goes, how is everything going? I want to do that and see if they still live in that apartment, if they still have that job, and see if they made their way through it, or if they are those people that ended up just spending the money they got on drugs and are back on the street. And then you don't help them again because they made that decision to not do something with the opportunity. They got a second chance, and are they going to blow it? We could call it second chance. I'd love to do it, and I just wanted to do that as a basic thing. I wanted to just meet one random homeless person, maybe a month, and try to help them out if I ever had that much money to just be like, here's a bunch of clothes, here's a cell phone, we're going to find you an apartment, we're going to find you a job at a career center, here you go. And I would love to do videos like that, but I feel like that also gets rid of the purpose that you're trying to help people when you're trying to get views to get yourself more money. Like all those people that are like, me giving $1,000 to a homeless person, I'm an amazing person. And then they just look like massive jackasses because they get so many views and get paid way more than $1,000 for what they're doing. So.
I can see where you're coming from that, but at the same time, I feel like you didn't mean to do that show for the money. You wanted to do it because you wanted to see the potential in human beings, because that's the main thing there, is that every human being in the world has the potential to do amazing things with their life. It's the question of, are they going to use it?
Yeah. Like, that's like me. I would love to do all these things that require all this money, but it would require me also doing a lot more work and going to a different career field, and that's something I don't want to do because I enjoy. Because I enjoy my job, and I would rather work the standard 40 or 50 or 60 and not overwork my life. And that's something some people they're willing to sacrifice one thing to get the thing that they want in 20 years, and I'd rather stay happy in the moment, every moment. And that's why I'm never going to be rich.
That's like something that my mother's always told me, and I'm sure most people have heard this. I've only met one person who had never heard this phrase before, and it was funny because it was my girlfriend, and I was trying to explain this to her. I've never been big on material things because my parents always taught me, no matter how much money you make, you can't take it with you. Yeah. So you might as well spend it and make yourself happy in the moment than try to worry about things. Like, you always want to make sure that your bills are paid and whatnot. Yeah. But if you have that little extra money and you want to go do something small and Like, I'm not saying go blow $400 on something if you have an extra $400. That's a little bit ridiculous, but...
Hey, that's what I do. Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. That's
fuck off, Kyle.
Debt.
Oh, yeah. That sucks.
No, but, like, I live about, I want to say, a half-hour walk.
Yeah.
Not, like, 5-minute drive, half-hour walk from a bowling alley right next to my house.
Yeah.
And if I had, like, it would cost $8 to go for, like, an hour for both me and my girlfriend. But we don't, at the moment, we just moved in there. I'm currently unemployed. I'm looking for jobs. But we don't have that kind of money to go and enjoy those things at the moment. And we understand that. But if we have that extra money, if we do have that, we're not going to skimp out on going to spend that money.
Enjoy the moments while you have them. That's my opinion on everything in life. Okay, we really haven't given Alex much of a chance to talk. Is there anything you want to talk about?
Not really. I mean, this is kind of just the first... This is why I haven't been talking this whole time, because I
American
can't talk.
English versus proper English. Reiterate.
Which one am I? American or
American?
Proper?
You're whatever you want to be.
Right.
But yeah, is there any other subject matters we'd also like to talk about? Is there?
I feel like with some of our podcasts though, we really need to cover some of the more controversial subjects. Like there are certain things like they can be considered political, but when you look at them in the long run, it's more of a controversial topic than it is a political topic, such as transgender and the way that people look upon that.
How many genders there are?
I'll give you 3.
Yeah. Take it or leave it.
I have $3.
No, what were you saying?
So I'd also like to flip that on its head and talk about subjects that seem controversial that are just fact and people blatantly ignore
that
fact.
involves the gender situation because people... I love Ben Shapiro because he literally said, your emotions don't change facts or something like that. And that's a big thing.
Like, I will, like I just said, I'll give you 3. Male, female, transgender.
I thought you were going to be like, and Transformer.
Transformer. All I can think of now is that video.
I don't know which video.
Offendatrons.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty great.
The Transformers.
Yeah. But yeah.
No, but, like, if you want to live your life in a certain way, that's all about you, but that's your thing. But I don't feel like...
You can't be mad at me for not using your pronoun, but also be mad at me for asking what your fucking pronoun is.
That's a good point. Like, if you ask somebody, what would you like to be referred to? I've heard a lot of people get offended at that. Like, you're just supposed to know, but in today's world, we don't know if that dude wants to be called a woman or if that woman wants to be called a man.
It's like, I know that I have a beard and a dick, but call me Jessica, motherfucker. Like, what? Like, thank you, sir. And he's like, what the fuck did you just call me? And
no,
it's like Jesus.
I mean, there are some people that are very respectable about these things. I've seen... It was a video on YouTube that I saw, and there was this transgender male to female, and a little girl walks up to him, and I'm still bad with pronouns.
We call it Pennywise because it's an it. We don't know what to call it, but we'll just stick with that.
They would be the proper way to say that.
So this little girl walks up to them and asks them, are you a boy or a girl? And they very politely explained, I was born as a male, but I would prefer to be a female. And the mother of this small child just walks up and rips her away as if this person had done something so wrong by explaining to this child what was going on.
That's the thing. People who aren't in that situation, like us, I don't think any of us want to be the opposite gender exactly. But people who aren't in that situation are so quick to talk shit, but if we are all able to live our lives without being offended, and they're able to answer our questions, we shouldn't be acting like what they're doing is wrong, as long as they're not getting offended that we're asking.
Like, one of my... I've been quoting him a lot recently. One of my new favorite comedians, because I saw him on Netflix, Daniel Sloss. He has a lot of very controversial opinions, and he has a lot of very good points, and he's talking about how your job as a parent is not to stop your child from living their life just because you don't see it that way. Your job is to explain to your child why you don't agree with that, and why you don't like that. And if they don't agree with you, tough shit.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I would prefer if my kids didn't ever do drugs, but I know nowadays my kids are gonna start or try something, and I can't stop
the
that.
thing
But
is
I would
with
prefer
that,
if they didn't.
My parents did it in a very good way. I started smoking pot when I was 15. I didn't do it much, but my mother knew immediately. I was always very close with my mother, and I just flat out told her, and she said, "Yeah, you're fine to do it. Just make sure you don't go to school high or anything." And the thing is, because she allowed me to do it, you lose the interest in it.
You're
it's
like,
so.
My mom's fine with it, so I'm angry.
I'm gonna start drinking. Yeah.
So it's the point at which the rebellious teenage phase becomes not so rebellious anymore. So you decide to reverse rebellious, and then you're just doing what your parents actually want you to do.
Yeah, and also there's also a point of a lot of parents have done these things when they were kids, and I don't feel like it's right for you to be hypocritical of your child for trying the same things that you tried.
Don't use your past experience acting like it's their past experience. They need to experience it.
I feel like you're allowed to use it as a warning, like, these are the things that happened to me, but I'm not gonna try to stop you if you need to experience this for yourself to see what I'm talking about.
Like, I'd prefer if my child didn't fuck 18 black guys at the same time, but that's her decision. Or his decision. No judgment.
Yeah.
No, like, that's one
thing. Go
thing.
give that cucumber back to your gay brother so he can use it as God intended.
But no, that's one of those things that it's another.
We still need to get you to watch.
It's another thing you can't judge your daughter with. It's like a lot of people, like, as soon as their daughter has sex, slut shaming your daughter. And I was watching. It was. I don't want to fucking give him any clout, but Logan Paul made a podcast with Riley Reid. I don't know if we're all familiar with her videos.
I have no clue.
She's a porn star. So I don't know why I was.
I might be.
But she has like these tattoos on her back of like Asian lettering. But let's get out of that. So she did a podcast, and she said her mom was like really open to her doing porn. And her dad was very religious and told her he didn't want her to. But when she decided to do it anyway, her dad turned around on it and said, like, it's your life, you live it. And that's the type of parent you should be. No matter it, even if it's a porn, just be like, hey, try to make sure you use condoms and all proper things that you need, and just be like, okay, I don't want them to do this, but if they choose to, that's their path, not mine.
And be very careful if you ever decide to take place in a Mandingo party.
Well, I was about to say something, but now I'm interested in this Mandingo party. What the fuck? What's a Mandingo party?
Mandingo is a fucking porn star. He's a big black dude, and he has these gangbangs that he gets him and all of his friends to fuck,
which
one,
are all
one girl.
They're all like huge,
big, muscular black
dudes.
Men. Fucking huge ones.
It's a gangbang.
It's a gangbang with nothing but giant black men.
Disclaimer, we're gonna be saying a lot of fucked up shit today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're gonna be saying
we
a lot
should
of
probably
fucked up
like
shit
put that in
all
the beginning,
time.
like disclaimer, blah blah blah.
We're gonna record a disclaimer.
We're gonna get demonetized.
So,
well, that's if we ever even get monetized.
That's the thing. We're not in this for the money, though.
Yeah, I'd like some though.
It'd be helpful, definitely.
Awesome. Like, oh, dude, if we ever, like, got a following but never got, like, money, like, maybe start, like, a Patreon or something.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah. But that's not what's important right now.
I feel like we're doing this for us mainly because we don't have a huge outlet to talk, and, like, sitting like this, we're able to talk to each other, both as friends and as viewers to an outside story that you might not have been particularly a part of. Like, you guys are some of my closest friends, but we haven't been through every single life event together.
That's true. We've been through some fucked up shit, though.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't been through too much with you around me, but...
Right.
Like, I'm assuming you've been through some fucked up shit within your life. You've been through some fucked up shit with your life. I've been through some fucked up shit with my life.
So as far as ADHD goes, me...
Yeah.
I've been thinking of a few random things.
Yeah, me too, actually. This
probably isn't going to end up in the podcast, or it might.
It will.
But
Go for
from an earlier conversation, I thought of Optimus Prime with tits. I just had to throw that out
there. That's what the Transformer videos is.
Yeah.
The Decepticons
Giant
all go
nipples.
transgender.
Yeah, and then one of them hits the Decepticon.
Yeah, Optimus
like,
Prime.
Would you hit a lady?
Okay, I have seen
Optimus Prime bitch slaps Megatron, and he just flips out about how he just hit a woman, and then he literally screams, "It's just Megatron with tits."
Yeah,
and it was hilarious.
Yeah,
I've seen that actually.
That video's
so now I'm
great.
Now I'm remembering.
Okay.
The second thing was, crap. It was a joke about a nun doing squats in a cucumber field.
Ah, yes.
I remember that joke.
Which was your joke.
That's about Hey, that was not your joke.
No, that was George's.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, my coworker did it. She's like, that's about as suspicious as a nun squatting in a cucumber field. And I started laughing my fucking ass off.
And then you told Kyle, and Kyle told me.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I never took credit for that joke. I was never.
Like, don't you take
when
that?
he said that, I didn't even remember it, and then I remembered you telling me that.
I can't even take credit for that joke. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
That was a coworker that I'm not gonna say her name, but it was a great fucking joke.
Yeah, that was a good joke. And so the last thing, I guess, I'll use as conversation point was my parents.
Yeah.
Raised me as a Christian kid.
Yeah.
Sent me at one point to a Christian school, to Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
In Auburn, and I think that's okay to say.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
So, they sent me to that for a year, maybe 2, and not sure if that's what made me the way I am today, but
you're the unrebellious rebel. You didn't mean to rebel against your parents, but for some reason, you're in the entirety of who you are is like the exact opposite of what they would have wanted.
Well, I do have to say
the perfect vision of what they wanted you to be.
Yeah, I do have to say I do admire you, because even though with certain people you're not as open, you are the most open person that I've ever talked to. Because if I can get you in a conversation about any subject, you will talk about that subject.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. That's something that's important in this thing as well. Trying to record like podcasts and shit, you need to be able to open up, and that's something that I do admire.
Which I think the cool thing about this though is that we're able to open up to plenty of other people. If we could get like, we get like 200. We're all manspreading right now, by the way.
Open up.
No, we could get this out to like over 250 people, and we're opening up to all those people while at the same time only really opening up to each other.
This sounds really gay. You're getting me in a gay situation here. You're like, we can open up to 250
don't offend
people.
Him.
Praise the Lord.
We can open up to 250 people, and hopefully some of them are fucking sexy. Maybe this will help me get a girlfriend, guys.
Don't try to link your POF page.
Hey, my POF page is fucking fantastic.
No, but like, we're opening up to each other as friends, but we're also able to open up to these other people because they're not particularly here. We're talking to each other as friends, but they get to hear our life stories, our past antics or whatnot. Because we've been through some pretty funny shit. Let's admit that.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
It was some
a
weird.
lot of them together.
I think my favorite thing, one of my favorite little stories, this is just a little tidbit. Yeah. We were driving down the road. Alex, you weren't there. It was a couple of our friends that we were with. And me and George are in the... George was driving. I was in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
We were in his... it was a Toyota 4Runner. And he has the sunroof open. And for some reason, just before we left, he decided to take like 6 or 7 pieces of gum.
It was a lot
and just
of
put
gum.
them in his mouth and just start chewing them. And we get about a quarter mile down the road, not even, and he just decides, oh, I need to get rid of this gum.
It's too much.
And instead of rolling down the window to his left and spitting it out the window, he decides to look up, spit it out the sunroof, and because of the speed of which we were moving, the gum came back in through the sunroof, flew into the back seat, and into the lap of one of our friends, who instantly started screaming.
It was pretty fucking great.
And I'm not gonna lie, we almost crashed the car because you got scared. You didn't realize what was happening.
Like,
and then at the end of it, we all just started laughing because this wad of gum just ended up in the back of the car.
That was like that one time, it happened multiple times, but I rolled down the window and I went to spit a fucking loogie out the window, and it fucking hit the window.
And it just starts streaking down.
And all of us are just screaming, going, ah! I don't want to touch it! And we're like,
I think one of my favorite little things that has happened was, we got into the car. This was just a little random thing. We went to McDonald's. We went through the drive-thru. We got all of our stuff, and George had random crap in one of his cup holders in the car.
As always.
And he started screaming at the top of his lungs about how he didn't have a cup holder. So I just reach my hand into the cup holder as quick as I can, grab everything in there, and chuck it as hard as I can into the back seat so he can put his cup down.
Yeah, it was like
that's friendship.
My brain went into overload when I looked down and noticed no cup holder, and I was just like breaking on the inside. That happened. That's another fucking funny fucked up thing that happened.
I will say though, most of our fucked up antics and fun stories happened in the car. Either one of his cars. It's always George's car though. It's either the 4Runner or his Mazda. Either way, we've had some weird experiences.
Yeah. Another thing with the 4Runner though, the whoopie pie.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to bring this up.
I was eating a whoopie pie, and
we worked at a whoopie pie factory for a little bit, so we got them for free all the time.
Yeah, so I was eating a whoopie pie, and I had a whole bunch of cream on my lips.
For those who don't know what a whoopie pie is.
Oh yeah, those are a main thing.
Yeah.
It's a main thing.
It is a Maine thing.
Well, Maine it's mostly Maine, Vermont, and Virginia.
How they usually explain it, it's a cupcake, but inside out. So it's cake, cream, cake of any flavor. Like
a cookie sandwich, but instead with cake.
Yeah. They come in many flavors, which are delicious.
They were delicious until we worked there.
You quickly get sick. I'm not gonna lie. George's brother-in-law, he worked there with us, and one of his things that he promised me, because I loved a particular flavor of these whoopie pies, he promised me one thing that we had at the factory, which was our jumbos. They were 5-pound whoopie pies. Yeah. And he got... I didn't think he was going to come through with this. It was 3 or 4 months after my birthday, but he finally came through with it. He got me a 5-pound raspberry and cream whoopie pie that I ended up eating as a birthday cake when I went over to a couple of my friends. We ate half of it and threw the other half away because it was so rich that we just couldn't get through it. But a normal person can barely handle one whoopie pie. We cut it in 8 like it was a pizza, and we couldn't even finish each of our pieces.
I started out being able to eat a whole whoopie pie, and now I can barely fucking eat half of one.
But you were saying something about the whoopie pie.
We're going back to the whoopie pie.
I was eating whoopie pie, and I had a whole bunch of frosting in my mouth and on my lips. And I was like, "Hey, Kyle," and he goes, "What?" I was like, "Have you ever heard of a sprinkler?" And he's getting ready to go, "Yeah." And I just fucking sprinkled the whoopie pie frosting all over the windshield while driving.
This was the sound effect. all over the front of the car.
And
he got it on me. He got it on the dashboard, on the windshield, on the fucking steering wheel.
And I was so happy. I didn't give a fuck that it was all
When
over
when
my
he
car.
sold that 4Runner, there were still stains on the windshield from the frosting.
Well, the 4Runner also had like a fucking blood stain from my leg on the side, and
Oh yeah, that one time that you like picked open a scab and then you just started bleeding all over the seat.
One time I was like bleeding really hard in the car, and I think it was you was like, George, you're bleeding, and I was like, I ain't got time to bleed. And I just continued my day, and then I realized there's this long fucking line of blood.
I think some of our weirdest antics that have happened though when it comes to that car is one of me and George's favorite activities to do during the summer, I should say, is swimming. We go swimming every single day at our little local swimming hole.
Yeah,
it's just down the road, and we would go there all the time. And if one of us forgot to change before we left, me and George are bigger guys. We'd have to figure out a way to fit into that back seat, strip down out of our jeans or whatever we're wearing, somehow get on our swim trunks without anybody seeing. And this is on a very public road.
Yes.
Like, there are people that we know. We went to high school.
It's not public indecency because we are indecent with clothes. Yeah. So, sue me.
But there is no... I'm assuming you're talking about the Mazda.
No.
We're talking about with the 4Runner.
Okay. That one had tinted windows, right?
It did on the very back, but not like...
It also had sirens.
Okay, so...
that was fun.
The Mazda doesn't.
No.
The Mazda does not have any tint in the windows.
No.
So when you use that car to go to the swimming hole...
Oh, we'll still get naked.
Yeah, we do not care.
Back,
you know you want to care.
With a full view from the back. So if you're driving along and you see a Mazda parked on the side of the road...
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes.
Open your eyes and fucking pay for the show. Because I need money.
Do you have money for rent?
But no, we've had some really good moments. That's another thing, we could tell funny stories about our lives and so on.
Like,
we already have.
That's true.
We've told a couple.
We're getting a taste of every conversation right now.
Like another one of my funny stories that I remember. It's just this tiny little moment that George and I had. It deals with the swimming hole. We were there and we were swimming, obviously.
Yeah.
We had our goggles on and we were just looking around underwater, and all of a sudden I noticed a Corona bottle.
Oh yeah.
It was a beer bottle. It was completely empty, but it wasn't shattered or anything. It was perfectly intact at the bottom of the lake. So I go and I grab it and I'm getting ready to bring it out because littering is bad, people.
Yeah.
Don't
fucking do it.
So we go to bring it out, and then I'm just like, I wonder what we could do to entertain ourselves with this.
Yeah.
So, also, we were underage at the time. We weren't drinking or anything. But we just started playing with the bottle in the water. We literally filled it up, like...
halfway.
It was like a little more than half. And we tipped it upside down and just dropped it. And there was just enough air in it that the bottle fell to the bottom, tipped over a little bit, and then the air made the bottle lift up so it was standing perfectly on like the neck end of the bottle. And me and George, for some reason, throw our hands down, look at each other, and then just go, science!
And that was a fun little moment.
Yeah. We didn't even like try to script that or anything. We weren't trying to make a joke. We just both happened to say the same thing.
We do that a lot, though.
We do. We did it once today, like just in the car.
I can't even remember.
I don't remember it was a joke. It was one of our normal jokes.
But we this is weird because we ain't no homo or nothing. But we literally finish each other's sentences more than like half of our conversations.
Let us also point out that 90% of George's family believes that we are gay together. But that's because we're very close as friends, and also this is another reason why I have been George's plus one to 3 different weddings in his family. Yeah. Both of his brothers and one of his cousins, I have been his plus one to a wedding.
Yeah. Also, at my brother's wedding, may I let everyone know, that I walked around and said, "This is my date. I'm gonna fuck him in the ass tonight," and continued walking because I heard they were against gays and I wanted to check and see.
Yeah. At the first one, we also there's photo evidence of this. George and I slow danced together at the end of the wedding, but we were mainly doing it to embarrass his brother because we were specifically dancing right in front of the camera for their wedding video, and we wanted to have that. It was right at the end. We wanted to make sure that was the last thing they got to see on their wedding video.
Yep. And then we also slow danced with my nephew.
Yeah,
which
Julian.
was pretty funny. A little baby. He's just like in there between us, cuddling between the two Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and it was a good day. Then we didn't even fucking get the video, which pissed me off.
Yeah, they lost
the video recording, I guess. So that pissed me off.
But at least we have photos.
Yeah, we have pictures of us slow dancing, which is weird. But yeah.
So I mean, he says he's not gay, but he's currently wearing cat ears headphones.
These are George's, and you forced these on me.
They're fucking fantastic headphones. So don't touch.
How much?
They're still on.
That was gross. How much did you pay for these? That's
$5.
Where?
It was the day after Black Friday at Walmart. They just had them in the discount rack, and it was like, please take them. And they have a mic on them, and the mic's really clear, so it's good for gaming.
That's what I need a new gaming headset.
Yeah.
I also another reason that these need to be left here. I have very bad luck with headphones.
Yep.
You will, if it just randomly comes up while we're doing our podcast, there will be many times you'll hear me complain that I broke my headphones in some way or another.
Yep.
And it's always in the most random of ways that I don't understand.
That's why I typically don't let him borrow my headphones.
Yeah.
Because I let him borrow a set of headphones once, and then I got it back, and I was like, Kyle, this doesn't work anymore for some reason. And he's like, huh, weird. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. I know.
No, like the thing is, I know it's me, but the thing is, I'm not intentionally breaking. Everybody thinks I'm intentionally breaking these things. I'm just fucking accident prone.
You with headphones is Joey with the cars.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have very bad luck with headphones. I will have 3 pairs of headphones, have all backups, like brand new headphones that I have not opened for backups.
Yeah.
And then I'll open them and they won't work.
Yep.
Like, I'm not joking.
I have an extra pair of Dollar Tree headphones just for Kyle in case one day he comes over and goes, my headphones are broken. I have them set in a drawer specifically for him.
Yeah.
So, that's fun.
Nice.
But
one of the things I'd like to point out is that I think this was you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I offered you my earbuds one day, and then when I got them back, they were filled to the brim with earwax, and it was the most disgusting thing.
Let's also just clarify, these were Apple EarPods.
Yes.
They're the ones that you, like, stick deep into your ear, and there's that little hole that can easily fill up, but that's the thing. I've actually gotten to a point where I can't stand that either.
Yeah, me either.
I have this weird new obsession that I've had for like the past year. I can't go into the bathroom without cleaning out my ears, even if I did it just an hour ago.
Yeah.
And I know that is extremely unhealthy.
I stopped using Q-tips because obviously we all know now you're not supposed to put them in your ear. But I've been using a earwax dissolver, and then you do earwax dissolver, you drain your ear, you take a shower, and you have clean ears.
I still use Q-tips because that's what I've been using since I was a little kid.
Earwax dissolver is literally just acid that you're dripping into your fucking ear, which is scary, but it works.
Well, I mean the same thing. I have psoriasis really bad, and the main. One of the 2 main ingredients that you will find in a psoriasis/dandruff shampoo or treatment there's coal tar, which sounds weird. That's for like controlling it, making sure that it doesn't look bad. And then there's, if you really want to treat it, salicylic acid. And I'm not joking. I have shampoo at home that is 0.5% acid. And it burns like hell.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
I have to leave it in for like 5 to 10 minutes. I have a conditioner
that actually does that. I have a hair conditioner. It's with mint and it burns, but you feel so clean after.
No, like, it's a different kind. Like, it doesn't feel like it's cleaning. It feels like it's burning down through your skin.
It's literally melting the top layer of your scalp for you.
Right. I'd like to point out Kyle's balding a little bit.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. I am very prone to male pattern baldness.
Yeah.
Because
little bit of not so much.
Little bit of a scientific fact. A lot of people don't realize this. Everybody's just like, "Oh, my dad's going bald. I'm gonna go bald." No. You actually get the balding gene from your mother.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. But it doesn't matter either way. My dad went bald when he was 19. My grandfather on my mother's side went bald when he was 17.
So that's fun.
I am 19 years old and I have a visible bald spot in the middle of my head.
It's visible, but you still have hair. You're doing great.
Yeah.
The only
You're going to become Colin Mockery.
Yeah.
The thing is no, I refuse to do that. Fuck you.
Shave it off at that point.
When I get to a point where it's like really bad, I'm just gonna shave my head. My knees are broken. I'm gonna purposely break them more and just always wear a Men's Warehouse style suit. I'm gonna be Professor X.
Oh no!
I'd be in a wheelchair in a suit, completely
if you break
bald.
your legs to do a cosplay, I think that means you're a true fucking fan.
True believers. Yeah.
So
I just made myself sad again.
Oh,
Stanley.
But so one of the things we haven't mentioned yet is we also want to talk about current events. We wanted to do something about that and talk about like things that are going on. Like I think we're going to be recording a podcast about current events throughout throughout right now, and then also do like, oh, this happened this year, every year maybe, if we're still doing this in a year, if we keep up. But
keep up appearances.
Yeah, talk about current events and like what's happened recently, like the fact that lettuce is fucking killing people.
That's fucked.
And that's why I eat spinach.
Go through some situations like that, and that's oh god,
Popeye.
spinach.
Popeye
the Sailor Man. Sorry,
he's strong
like,
to the finish
chicken?
because he eats his spinach. He's Popeye the Sailor Man.
Copy strike.
He didn't sing it well enough. We're
true.
fine.
Yeah, fuck
the
you.
computers won't even recognize what fucking song that is. But he looks so sad now. But yeah, so I want to talk about current events. Is there really any other subjects we want to talk about?
No, I think
Hitler
we've hit everything.
Oh.
Wow.
Let's just go for it, Hitler.
I love it. The emptiness of sound, I think, was perfect.
Yeah.
Hitler and everyone just like, what the fuck?
But no, I think we've actually hit on everything.
Yeah,
so far,
I think
because
you
got to the point where you just repeated yourself.
I did?
Yes.
I did?
Yeah, because we were talking.
You walked into that
Yeah,
one.
I did.
So, no, one thing I don't think we've mentioned is that I know we've said we wanted emotionally driven things, but we do want to do ones that are like talking about past loved ones that we still have minor feelings for, but explaining like why
things went wrong, basically.
Yeah, and like just explaining things. I also want to have a segment that we take every analogy that I have.
No,
and
not your analogies.
No, and then we put them all into one recording and like be like, hey, this is this analogy.
So that we don't have to hear it 20,000 times.
I'd also like to get into doing some sticks animations with my analogy, so I can do the ladder analogy.
I hate the ladder analogy.
The ladder analogy is fucking fantastic.
I'm sure we'll hear that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we talk about one of them I wanted to do, which was what does love mean to me.
Right.
So we got this, I believe.
Yes.
So I think we've hit every. Do you like yawning into the fucking mic?
I feel like it's part of me.
He's just sitting there like, yeah.
I like making weird noises in the microphone. I don't know why.
I don't know why either, but I think it's because you can't hear yourself, and then I'm over here going, ugh.
Yeah.
Like,
hear everything.
Yeah, I can hear each of you, but I can't hear myself.
I can hear myself,
Same.
and I don't think I sound bad, but I could be wrong. We'll find out. So yeah, I think we've touched up on everything, right?
Yep.
And then we can do another recording sometime soon and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
are we gonna do our signature outro that we do with
signature outro?
What we do with each other when we have to leave.
Oh, all together. I think you know what it is.
I don't.
Oh. So is that literally going to be our outro that we do every time?
Maybe.
Please like,
comment,
and subscribe.
And hit that fucking bell icon.
This has been Rants and Raves, episode 1.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye. Bye.